Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new, Georgia got it this week, review. How are you doing? Happy Fragrant Friday to you, my friends. You've seen the title and the description, so you know I'm checking out none other than Pomélo Paradis by Atelier. This is my 16th and final review ever of this house. I have really enjoyed the first 15, and this is the final, the 16th sample that I'm going to review. Right off the bat, I'm going to talk about the name, but I want to quickly say before I begin, if you watch me each week, and perhaps you might want to skip over the single fragrance review part, make sure you check out the bonus feature, because in the bonus feature I give out my coveted That Cologne Guy Olympic medals for the 16 fragrances that I have reviewed from this house. And so I have an honorable mention, a bronze, a silver, and a gold that I would like to award to this house. So make sure you check out the bonus feature if nothing else. So for the single fragrance review, I'm going to start off by talking about the name. So the name, keep in mind this is Pomélo Paradis, and I want to say it that way because in English there is a pomelo, and a pomelo is a fruit from Southeast Asia, and it's actually the largest citrus fruit. To me it looks like a big pear. Actually, it's huge. It looks like a big, slightly green pear in the pictures that I've seen of it. I did not know that, but what's interesting is in this case it's not pomelo. It refers to the French word for grapefruit. So this is a grapefruit-based fragrance, and I wanted to be clear about that because of the confusion there. In English, there is a fruit called pomelo, and then there's grapefruit. And in my limited French, Pomélo Paradis is referencing grapefruit. So I'm going to talk about the notes now. This is a 2015 release. Will not surprise you, but it's a citrus aromatic. That should be, quite expected. And then on the top notes, you're going to get pink grapefruit, and then you're going to get mandarin. I would have said orange, but and for granted it's listed as mandarin. And then black currant. These are the top notes. Here's what I get though. I get orange. I get orange and orange peels. Actually, I get some grapefruit. I don't have a problem with the name. I'm not going to be nitpicky about it, but I do pick out the orange more than the grapefruit. And then in the base notes we have in the mid we have orange blossom, mint, and rose. The mint is really toned down, and I think what I'm getting here is orange peels, and I feel like it's because it's mandarin that's mixing with the mint. I could just be making that up entirely, but that's the way I see it. I really appreciate the rose here, and then of course I'm a huge fan of orange blossom. And then in the base notes you get vetiver, amber, and iris. I will fully admit to you that I never would have come up with vetiver. To me, this is definitely iris. This one is it's like orange with a dash of grapefruit, rose, and iris. That's really what I pick up. And so it's very refreshing. And then I want to say right now, too, before I get in too much into the episode, my review and my rating, more importantly, will be based on, from me, a women's perfume. In other words, this is a guy's perspective on a woman's perfume. And I say that because of all of their, like most niche companies, they always put for women and men, everything's unisex. And I get that. I like it. It's a little too feminine for me personally, but I think this would be spectacular on a woman's skin. So I want to be clear about that when I talk about the review, and then of course later on the rating for this one. The rating will be on a woman's skin. Okay, so those are the notes. I never would have guessed vetiver. The mint is definitely toned down here, and it's really an orange, rose, iris mix that I find original. Actually, I really like it because I have not reviewed too many fragrances at all that smell like this. So the originality factor is high. That's good. Okay, so that's the good news. Now the bad news, of course, if you follow me each week, you know that this house tends to be underwhelming when it comes to longevity, projection, and sillage. This one is no exception. In fact, actually, it's even more disappointing, unfortunately, in terms of longevity. I got 2 to 4 hours, closer to 2 on some days, especially if you're coming in out of the outdoors. Projection is another one that's going to be an arm's length away for about half hour, and then after that it's going to start to settle really close to the skin. As I said before, though, you can use that to your advantage. Here's the way I see this fragrance. I see this one as maybe not the perfect, but I think of it as a great example of a first date fragrance on a woman, because practically no one would dislike this. The other thing is, like, if you were in a confined space, for example, let's say you go on a date and he picks you up. You don't just meet there, but he actually picks you up and you're inside of a car on your way to, let's say, a restaurant. Or out for drinks, whatever. This one would be great because it's not going to project too much. Sometimes, you know, when we wear fragrance and we get inside of a car and they close the doors, you know, everyone will start coughing and it's just explosive, right? The perfume. That is definitely not going to be the case here. So this one will make a very good first impression because someone would be able to pick it up and smell it. And if in the unlikely situation that they didn't like it, you're still fine, because within a half hour and a half, it's going to be pretty much relegated to a skin scent. So I think it's a great choice, actually, for a first date. It's just not a daily driver, as they say. So that is projection and then sillage. So let's say you get to the restaurant and you put in your order, and let's say you excuse yourself to go to the restroom, and you walk by your date. You know, if it's the first hour and a half, he's probably going to be able to pick it up. You know, maybe he'll be able to pick up your scent a little bit and give a compliment. But after about the hour and a half mark, I'm not sure that that's going to be the case. If it is a night out, a date night, I would definitely recommend highly that you spray this on your clothes, not just skin, because if your skin is like mine, it will eat it up and it'll be gone before the hour and a half mark. So as far as sillage. And so, you know, walking by people and you're leaving a scent trail behind you, this is going to be a tough one for that. And that I personally don't care for that, but there are a lot of people out there who absolutely love that because it's subtle. So if you want your personality to really be at the forefront and your perfume to be in the background, well, this would be a great choice for that. That's why I said that it would be a great first date perfume. Okay, so that is projection, longevity, and sillage. And now let me do season right now and just say, I usually say something like, well, you know, season could be this, but really it could be all year long. This one is definitely for the spring and summer, and really for the summer. There's no doubt about it. It's very, very uplifting and refreshing. It is certainly a citrus aromatic, and I really like that explosive nature of this fragrance. I just wish it lasted longer, but it's definitely a spring, summer. And because, you know, I'd say something like I can't really say like a wedding, an outdoor wedding in the summer either, because of what I said. Coming, you know, if you go outdoors, people are not going to be able to really pick it up, and so for that reason, I'm going to say nighttime summer, something like a first date night. So that's pretty specific. In fact, let's just go to event. So that's my event. This is not a daily driver. This is not a 365-day-a-year fragrance. It's definitely something you would keep. It is uplifting. I mean, that sounds a little corny or a little cringy, but it is. It is an uplifting, refreshing. I can see it being confident, optimistic, and I would even say sensual and sexy. I really like this one. I just don't like it on my skin. I think it would work great on a woman's skin. Okay, so that is really the event, and then since I'm at an event, let me just go ahead and talk about, you guys know that the house always sends a postcard. And in the postcard, they have a description, which when I first started doing these, I would read before, but I just took it out now, and I actually like not reading them and then to see if it's anywhere near my thoughts. So let me read the description now from Atelier itself. Was he a fool to drive all night just for a chance to see her? Perhaps it was adrenaline and the lack of sleep, but as he pictured moments they had been together, the word destiny stuck in his mind. The coral sunrise burned bright, and he drove faster. There was no choice but to see her. Again, I will say this. Is it my favorite house? No, it's not my favorite house. I will say this, though. Their descriptions really do line up well with the actual fragrance itself. Very well. Because, I said first date, and this one is clearly they know each other because he says, there was no choice but to see her again. So this is the second date. So, hey, all signs point to good. Either way, this one is clearly a romantic fragrance for a woman. So I'm happy to report that it was similar to what I said, and that has been like the last 4 or 5. Really, in the last 8 fragrances reviews that I've done of this house, because the first 8 were, I think it was a year or maybe even 2 years ago. No, it was a year ago, and that's when I would just look at the postcards first, and that's also when I sent them out to you guys. So, and if you would like one, let me know. Okay, so let me talk about gender and age now. When it comes to the gender, I've already said I think this works better on a woman's skin, so I'm going to go 75-25 on the percentage breakdown, meaning 75% of the people who bought this, who own it, who have it as their signature scent, who wanted this, will be women, and 25% will be men. I mean, when you talk vetiver and mint, and you talk about mandarin, blackcurrant, it doesn't necessarily speak to a woman's perfume, but I definitely think it works better on a woman. So I'm going to say 75% women and 25% men on the gender split. And then I will say, so this is, of course, I do see this outside of unisex. I do see this as a feminine women's perfume. Okay, so let's go age. And then on age, if we're going to talk about a first date, we're going to talk about, maybe meeting people online and then going out for a first, and of course, according to the postcard, even a second date. I'm going to shoot for 23 and up. I'm going to say the post-college years for a couple of reasons. Number one is, as I've said, I don't see too many college students owning niche perfumes. This is going to be probably too expensive. And I also just see this as, slightly more mature. I see this person as not living with their parents. She's out on her own. She's got her first apartment, first paid internship, first job, first car, on down the line there, first house payment, apartment payment, whatever, condo, whatever. And she's just hitting the dating scene. And so I'm going to go with 23 and up in terms of age. I've already talked about event, and so we are going to go down to the rating now. For me, the rating, recall that I said this would be for a woman's skin. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. This one is actually really tough because I really should go 3, because I should take off 1 for the price and then 1 for the abysmal. In fact, why don't we do that? Okay, I'm going to change it in that cologne guy all-time first. I'm going to actually change during the episode. I am going to go 3. I really, really like this one. I really do, though. It hurts me to give it a 3. It is very sensual, and it would be great for a romantic night out. It would be outstanding, actually. But I'm sorry for the price point. And then on top of it, the just abysmal. I mean, it's hard for me. You have to take off a spray here. You have to take off a point, whatever your system is, because the very thing that this is a summer fragrance. It's just popping with citrus, And so you would think, okay, perfect for something like a wedding or a wedding reception, something outdoors during the daytime. And it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone within, an hour at the most, and I just don't find that practical. I don't think that's where it should really perform its best, actually. The problem with the citruses, of course, is a lot of times they just don't last, and so this is another one. So I am going to go 3 out of 5. I will be the bad guy, and I'm going to go 3 out of 5. I'm going to take 1 off, which I typically do for this house for the outlandish prices. Maybe that's why they no longer sell in the U.S. I don't know. And then the second reason is because, I know some people really like the fact that it is subtle and it is going to be, great for a first date because, it won't necessarily, clear the driver out of the car. But that said, I'm sorry, you want something that really pack a punch normally, and this one certainly does not do that. So I'm going to go 3 out of 5. It's a shame because it does really smell nice. We're going to go 3 out of 5, and I've left. Let's see, one. These will not be faux sprays, right? And so I'm gonna put 1. How about let's see. Let's go 1 on each wrist and 1 on the back of the neck. I'm in full vacay mode anyway, so let's just go back of the neck. 1 and then 1 on each wrist. And just for Owlet Street sense, I'm gonna rub in the juice. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay. Whew. That was awkward. Okay, 3 out of 5 sprays for. What I heard in the pronunciation was Pomélo, Paradis. The Paradis part I know I'm alright, but I don't know if it's Pomélo or Pomélo, and that's what I heard was Pomélo Paradis by Atelier. My final Atelier review ever. All right, so. Thanks for sticking around. In the bonus feature, I'm gonna delve out my awards for this house, and I appreciate you sticking around and watching the episode. Always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Okay, so welcome to the bonus feature. You guys know that in this feature, I'm going to talk about the 4, because I have honorable mention, then a bronze, then a silver, then a gold medals for this particular house, something I really enjoy doing. Relatively easy for me, really. Coming in an honorable mention is the Oolong Infini. Remember, that's the oolong tea-based fragrance that I just recently reviewed. It comes in an honorable mention. I really liked it, especially because I do like oolong tea to begin with, but it can't quite crack the medal round, so I wanted to give it an honorable mention. The bronze medal for me definitely goes to the Figuier Ardent, or that's the looks like Figuier Ardent or burning fig. You guys know I'm a huge fig lover anyway, and it worked really well with aftershave and things like that. So I really liked the combination there, and that is my bronze medal, Figuier Ardent. And then my silver medal is definitely the silver and the gold I would eventually like to have if I could see on the discounters. I really liked Rose Anonyme. Is it better than Lyric Man by Amouage as far as the best rose men's fragrance? No, but nothing is, because that is the champion. But Rose Anonyme was one that I really liked. I like that it has a lot of personality. And as I said before, the ones I really like, if you just say the name, it'll conjure up. I can recall the fragrance easily, and I like that about this fragrance. It harkens back to a time of yesterday. Okay, so that's Rose Anonyme. I really enjoyed that one. And then recently I reviewed the gold medal, and the gold medal has to go to Oud Saphir. I really, really enjoyed that review, and I also enjoyed that fragrance. Very it worked very well on my skin. Again, that's another one though that you have to like oud. I like oud, but I do appreciate that one even more. And Oud Saphir, by the way, is the only Atelier out of 16 to get 5 out of 5 sprays in my rating system. A lot of some 2s, some 3s, some 4s, but only no 1s. You're not going to get anything bad like 1s from this house. 1 out of 5 is just not going to happen because they smell quite nice. It's just the performance factor and the price factor. So 5 out of 5 was Oud Saphir. It's the only fragrance from this house to get a 5 out of 5 on this review channel. So there you go. There you have it. Those are the medals. Those are the awards. I wanted to make sure I ended in the bonus feature with that. As I said, this is the end of the road for the Atelier house for me. I really enjoyed going through these, though, over the last, 14, 15, 16 or so months. It's been fun. And I look forward to going on to next week, because next week I actually have something interesting as well, because I'm going to have a body spray. And every once in a while, I will do a body spray review. I really enjoy those. Those are kind of fun, a little bit more, lighthearted, and obviously not so much of niche quality stuff like that. They're just fun. I actually have had a few body sprays over the years, and I really like them. So I'm looking forward to next week. You make sure you take care. Let me know what fragrance, what is your juice of the day that you're rocking. Let me know. You already know which one I'm rocking, at least for one more day. And then I will see you next week. So take care, and thanks again for hanging around. I appreciate it.